Hello everyone, it's James from Keeping It Anime, and today let's talk episode 107 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains, entitled Slay the Demon. A little bit of an odd title for this episode as to who the demon actually is. It could be two people, depending on the perspective that you're looking at. So, on one hand, it could be Blood Shepard, because, he's got the demon characteristics, and obviously what happens in this episode, which we'll get to in a moment. Or, if you're looking at it from Ai's perspective, then it could be Go Onizuka. However, I'm leaning more towards Blood Shepard because the confrontation between Go and Ai in this duel happened towards the end and it didn't actually conclude. So then, let's start with where we left off last week. So Roboppi versus the brother and sister combo. All in all, this duel was pretty okay. It wasn't the best duel that we've seen from Vrains, but it wasn't the worst. It was a bit fast. I mean, let's see. Blood Shepard, Roboppi, Emma, Roboppi. 4 turns. That's all it lasted. I would like a bit more, but oh well. We got introduced to some new cards and a new archetype, and so we got quite a bit of good stuff out of it. However, Roboppi's Link 1 monsters, they seem pretty overpowered. So yeah, and we also get told in this episode that his Link 1 monsters, that they have extra effects that can be triggered if they're not co-linked. So yeah, they're pretty overpowered in terms of effects, but they are pretty low in terms of attack points. So I guess they kind of balance each other out, but I would recommend they up it or limit the cards that he's allowed to have in the deck, because you could potentially you could do at least half the life points off an opponent just by using the non-co-linked effects of Appliancer Vaculant, which I'll talk about in just a second. So, we go through this duel, and there's a lot of back and forth between Emma and Roboppi, since it's the end of Emma's turn and the start of Roboppi's new turn. And thanks to skills and effects that are used in this episode to help each player / character survive, or to get the upper hand, it adds that bit of tension, that bit of excitement, like what's going to happen, how's it going to play out. But in the end, we all knew that Roboppi was most likely going to win. There was a pretty solid 80% chance that he was going to win, because A, he didn't use his skills, and we need to learn what those are. It's his first duel, and he was just scarily overconfident for some unknown reason. So then, when the duo of brother and sister lost this duel, we got given a really nice visual effect of them kind of dying as such. So in the past with Vrains, we've had it so that people get digitalized. So when they face Bowman, they would kind of break down and kind of turn into, I don't know, digital dust or sparkly stuff. You know what I mean? In this one, we actually see them kind of engulfed in black flames. Very reminiscent to something you would expect to see from a dark attribute monster. So the fact that when they lose to a member of Ai's team, this effect is what's actually given to us, was actually really nice, and it appealed to Ai's character and reflected that way quite nicely. So yeah, we do technically see Blood Shepard and Emma. We see Thal, Savira, Gnome, and Spectre. So all, those 4 Knights of Hanoi characters were off-screened, defeated by Ai. Like, yeah. I know Spectre got a decent duel against Lightning, but you would think that they would at least give Spectre an on-screen duel. But nope, he didn't. So in terms of characters getting knocked out, they're moving pretty fast. Now, it's a nice thing to say as well, linking back to the title, if you were to take Blood Shepard as the demon in this context being slayed, and then, you know, the fact that he stepped in front of Emma's attack, causing himself to get sliced in half by Laundry Dragon's attack animation, well, you know, technically he's been slayed. And then you do get the whole typical, you pulled me out of darkness, thank you for everything kind of speech from Blood Shepard, which is out of character, but it does make sense. And yeah, basically those two characters finish off their duel being engulfed and trying to reach out for one another as they basically get consumed in flames. Pretty nice way to end it off, if I'm honest. And then we transition into... Actually, no, before we talk about the Go duel, let's talk about the cards and the effects that we got introduced to in this episode. So then, Link 1, Appliancer, Vaculant. So we all knew the effect of it to begin with when it was co-linked, but when it's not co-linked, its effect reads as follows. Cannot be used as a link material the turn that it is link summoned. This card that is not co-linked can attack directly. You can also use one of the following effects of Appliancer Elephant once per turn. Okay, so yeah, you can attack directly. Fine, not too bad. And then the new card, Link 1, Appliancer Laundry Dragon. Straight away, the visuals of this card just reminded me of something that Leo would have had from 5Ds. Just very reminiscent. The whole archetype is kind of reminiscent of that. And when co-linked, all battle damage becomes 0. The monster you attack gets banished. So this is used against Emma to try and get rid of her Link 4 monster, but it doesn't work due to Emma quick thinking and using effects. Okay, so then the non-co-linked effect. Battle damage becomes 0, same as the other one, and the opponent's monster is destroyed, and you deal damage equal to the monster's attack points. And this is actually what finishes off the duel for the tag team of Emma and Blood Shepard. Ghost Girl, Blood Shepard. Whatever names you want to use. So yeah, two pretty good abilities overall, that could cause quite a lot of damage if used in the right situation, and in this episode they certainly were. One little key visual that I really did like though in this duel, is that Roboppi's duel disc is actually the Roboppi head of the robot that she used to be, or he used to be. I thought that was a pretty good detail, a nice little homage to his previous self. I really did like that, and the fact that the face changes and, you know, the expressions changed on the dual disc was always pretty fun. Okay, so then let's talk about the Go versus I duel. Now this doesn't actually conclude in this episode, but it does kind of start off, and well, it's a duel that, okay, fine, it could pose some interesting development for both characters. But in all honesty, it's not really a duel that I want to see. Basically, we've got I with a grudge against Go for defeating Earth. And he reckons that it's thanks to Go beating Earth that, you know, Earth would fall into the hands of Soltech and eventually Bowman. However, Pandora basically states that that's not true. There's 100% that Bowman would have beaten Earth anyway. So, okay, fine. And then I gets angry and irritated throughout this entire ordeal. Like, he's on edge anyway, and we know that he wants revenge, so it's understandable. But even when talking to Pandora, he gets really kind of frustrated and says, you know nothing, because you're new. Don't act like you know it all. Fine then. And then we do find out how Go is actually the way he is, how he's come back to his senses. And, okay, so the reason is very true to Go's character. We all knew at the start that Go as a character was an entertainment duelist who just loved to entertain and make the kids at the, is it orphanage or the place where he stays to, He just wants to make him happy and make their life more enjoyable. However, while he was unconscious or in hospital after losing to Playmaker again, with having the Ignis chip inside his head, he woke up to the cries of these children. They were with him and waiting for him to wake up. So upon self-reflection, Go basically stated that, he's found who he's meant to be and what his purpose is again, which leads him to going back to his Goki deck. Now, his Goki deck is pretty much the same as normal. There's a couple of new cards, and he does get a Link 4 monster. The Link 4 monster is it's Goki the Master Ogre, which design-wise is pretty lacking, in my opinion. I don't like the design. We don't really know too much about the skills. I'm pretty sure there might have been... Yeah, no, we don't really know too much about the skill. However, Go's plan is to basically stop I from using Island, which he manages to do. However, I just changes up his strategy, and in the end, destroys his Link 4 monster, dealing Go significant amount of damage. And this is also where we learn that Dark Templar at Ignister can't be destroyed by mutual destruction. Pretty good ability, if I'm honest with you. But the other kicker is that although Go tried desperately to stop Island from getting into I's hand, I ends the episode with it in his hand anyway, thanks to using more skills and combinations. So all in all, it was kind of a pointless first confrontation that left Go feeling more powerless and defenseless than he was beforehand. However, this is all about Go becoming stronger and making sure he stands back up even after being knocked down many more times. So he's trying to teach us that little kind of lesson by basically saying no matter how many times you fall, get back up. I just wish they kind of went with it a little bit differently. Now overall, this episode was an okay episode. It was probably a 6.5 out of 10 for me. The whole first confrontation between Roboppi and the brother and sister combo, I enjoyed that. The whole Knights of Hanoi being one-shotted, didn't like it. The whole Go and Idol, not really that interested or invested yet, but I'm hoping later on down the road that changes in the next episode to come. But other than that, guys, the animation was pretty decent throughout. There was some good quality scenes in it, and there was a little bit of oopsie daisies. Music was great throughout. I enjoyed the music, and overall, the first half of the episode, the duel flowed nicely with good choreography. And we're going to have to see what next week brings to give my final verdict on the Go duel. So then, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video from me, and until next time, I hope you have an amazing day, and keep it anime. Catch you all later. Goodbye.